Hey y'all! So I was just going to do a video today reading out some comments because I've seen everyone else that does YouTube doing it, so I thought, I better partake. Mum is sitting next to me, but as usual she's camera shy. We've moved into our big bell tent, which I will show you guys tomorrow when I don't have my clothes everywhere. So I've gone back to like 3 months ago. So I put out my mind control V2K video, and someone was asking, David G asked, how do you spot it, like with the V2K? And for me it's more like when you have a feeling and a thought that you kind of think, I don't usually think those things, I don't usually have like a certain way of thinking. Usually, you know, I think about rainbows and unicorns, and if you think about a storm cloud, you're like, well, that's not normal. So something that is out of the ordinary for you, and sometimes it's a thought that sticks with you and you don't know why. Like most thoughts kind of just, you think of them and then they just float away, but some thoughts, they just stick in your head and you don't know why they stick in your head because it's not of importance to you, and then maybe it manifests into something more. So I think that's how to spot it. And Brian Chu, he's the one to look at the V2K. I should leave links in the description, not subscription. Description. I'll leave links in the description to get to his site. Oh, speaking of, he left a comment for me. Brian Chu and I actually PM'd. That's exciting. I'm getting messages. Dwayne Hicks 11, he always leaves lovely comments. Goddess Aisha, what have you been up to the past week? Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Dwayne. What else? So gang stalking, even your own family, that was probably one of my deepest videos, like personal. And actually I've noticed that I haven't been doing like really gang stalking videos. I've more just been doing videos about my life, you know, less focused on gang stalking, because I've actually been enjoying myself and not focusing on it as much. I think that's a good thing.
Can I butt in?
Yes, please. Oh, thank you.
I think since the COVID crap has started, it's a bit hard to kind of focus on yourself and being GS'd.
Yeah.
Because the COVID is a massive 20
Oh
billion
my gosh, exactly.
people
Everyone
GS.
is getting gang stalked, so
So
you're not
it's
really
really
being
hard
like...
to tell when 3 orange cars go past in a row and they all got 666 on it. You just go, I don't give a shit, because I am so GS'd by the government in general.
Exactly.
That I don't even give a shit about the small things, and I think that is a huge MS,
Our
like mind
focus.
control. Like that they've just taken all that kind of forward thinking
Everyone's
off us, like that.
focus is on that one thing, and
right.
that has to be some sort of like ritualistic
massive V2K.
Yeah, some massive ritual where everyone's energy, mind and fear is focusing on that.
Yeah, harvesting.
Speaking of fear, that just triggered a thought in my head. So Deborah Tavares put out a video. I know everyone's like, oh, this and that about Deborah, but she put out a video.
Do people say bad things about Deborah?
Joe Imbriano says bad things about Deborah.
Oh, does he?
I don't like when people bag other people out. It annoys me. It's like, you do your thing, and if you don't like someone, don't talk about them. So Deborah Tavares put out a video, and it's like everything we've waited for, but you kind of don't want to hear it at the same time.
Oh my gosh. Remember the first time we heard her?
The first time we heard her was probably like 2016 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
My light went out. So 2016 we first watched her, and I remember we were camping in a little town called Mildura in the middle of buttcrack nowhere, and we were just lying there in the back of the car camping, and we just found her by chance, like just, you know, wormhole. You click on a video, look at this, you know, what should we, okay, sorry, I lost it. The suggested underneath the video, and we just kept scrolling and doing that like for like hours, and then we came across this weird lady, Deborah Tavares, and started talking about weird stuff. And you know what, 2 minutes into her video, we both just
went outside and just held. We was like, no.
We were so scared, and that was years ago.
What do you mean the toaster's gonna tell the government what I'm thinking? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure, they're like, that's ever going to happen.
Red's
And
under the
guess
bed.
what? Red's under the
And
bed.
then you look at like they're putting like smart appliances. Oh, okay. I'm not even going to go into it, or I'll just
Like,
be there for hours.
just one thing: Wi-Fi light bulbs. That's all I'm going to say.
I saw
That's a
Wi-Fi
real
light
thing.
bulbs in
They're in
Bunnings,
Bunnings.
which I don't know what you guys call them, like a hardware store in Australia. Wi-Fi. It's like a light bulb, and it advertises like no need for a Wi-Fi router or hub. Your light bulb is your hub.
And it's got a camera and it's got a speaker and all
A
sorts
remote.
of listening devices in a light bulb. Who would have thought it, huh?
And Deborah said it years ago.
Yeah.
So she said stock up on incandescent lights because all LED lights are like they're all Wi-Fi, even if it's not advertised.
And they're doing the blinky,
and that is how
blinky.
they get to. That's how they get to V2KU.
Yeah. And what's the blinky blinky thing?
Like flashing, like Morse code sort of flashing.
Oh yeah, like the LED lights and that they all do that.
Oh yeah, they flicker. All the LED lights have a flicker rate.
Yeah, yeah. And that's almost like a V2K. Morse code that just gets straight in because it's got the waves, the sound waves, the frequencies, the brain. You know, like what do you like the music?
Yeah.
What number's the music?
The music's all at 440 hertz.
Yeah,
and it's 432 hertz is the perfect alignment, and 440 creates anxiety, depression.
Yeah, so when they put all that in the music, plus they put the flicker rate to match it,
and then you put the flicker rate on all the videos, and all the music videos these days are all like blip verts. Like was it in the 80s? Blip verts were banned.
Yeah.
And then you look at all the new music videos and it's all like blip, 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 flash, 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 and you don't even see what's going on, but it's still getting in your head.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm supposed to be reading comments.
Yes, you are.
Someone's calling me. They're coming for our kids. Someone said I'm mental. Yeah, I mean, when someone says, "Oh, you're out of your mind," it's like, of course I am. It's dark and scary in there,
Of course I want to get out.
Who wants to be in there? Let's see. Someone's leaving links for my V2K. Yeah, even your own family. Portals opening. My video 2 months ago. Jason Harding left a comment saying Jesus was stalked while he was here too. So we are in very good. We will be in very good company.
Wow, so we'll be able to chat with him about it, won't we?
We'll be able to ask him questions and stuff.
That's really
Thank
deep.
you, Jason Harding.
Yeah, nicely said.
He left another video on my lame stream. JFK, this is also Jason Harding leaving a comment. JFK and his brother got killed for pushing and trying to stop them from the inside and expose the plot. I'm sorry, I'm not a really strong reader. Now, since the final Middle East countries have been taken over, now they are all in the works, Patty, to taking full control over everyone, every square inch of the land.
Wow. That's
so true. I mean, you look at all like the state forest, especially while Kovo was on, they're like, you can't go into the forests, you can't go walking, all public land is now known as government land. It's like, it was never known as crown land, it was just like the bush. And now apparently the government owns it. It's like, who said you owned it? Who gave it to you? It's supposed to be the people's land.
Around
yeah.
Heaps and heaps of
I made another video.
Towns, like
I think I uploaded it over like, you go on the highway and there's just like
miles and miles
koala fences, but we all know koalas don't exist. So Dwayne Hicks leaves a lot of beautiful comments. Thank you, Dwayne. And I have a comment from Brian Q.
Ooh,
exciting.
Say.
Back on the boat. That's when we were coming back to the mainland from Tassie.
Okay.
About a month ago. He said, "You are in great danger. It is a game you will lose badly. Get away from them before it's too late. You are not just a crisis actor and proverbial playing a deadly game of street theatre and cyber threats, but you are a victim of the technology and your destruction will come.
Wow. Well, we all know that Brian, like, he's a bit of a cracker, even though we love him and we're all crackers because we're open-minded.
Sometimes you have to go into like cracker conspiracy theorists. Like, you need to have a tin hat. You put it on and you take it off.
Yeah.
Right?
But don't forget
Because
he
if
helped
you
invent all that
if
stuff.
you think too hard about things, you will just fall
You'll
into
just
the
go
wormhole.
mad.
I love Brian. I'm not saying anything bad about Brian. I'm just saying you sometimes, like, I will just get so caught up in it. Mum's like, bub, you got to just do some artwork, fold some clothes, just think about something else. Otherwise, you're just going to go
everyday plebby stuff.
Exactly. You have to sometimes go into Plebville, drive out again, put on your tin hat, and have a bit of fun talking about this stuff. Because for me, this is entertainment. So,
because what they want you to do is commit suicide.
Yeah, and they want to drive you crazy and commit suicide.
If you let them, and I think Brian is letting them.
He's letting them get to him, but also he is going crazy because he's helping us, and he makes videos every day, and he repeats the same mantra of what's going on. He gave me the absolute best advice for when you're getting really badly stalked and you might be ringing or hearing voices. Or something.
Ringing, like, that's every day for us.
Yeah, that's so bad. I'm just laying there and Mum's like, "Can you hear that?" I'm like, "No, you're hearing it. It's like V2K." But if you're having some like really bad V2K or bad thoughts to whatever, you just multitask. So the way you know that it's not your thought is if you start like doing like playing with your phone and start like singing or something. Because you've got two different things going on at the same time. They can't actually catch the wavelength to mess with it. And if that thought goes away when you start multitasking, then actually it's not really your thought.
Yeah, and that Brian invented that.
And Brian was the one that invented multitasking.
We've got to give the credit.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, yeah, that was all Brian. Mum's messaging people on Messenger and it keeps popping up on my thing, so in the way, like the entire screen is just taken up by so my messages is like ping.
I'm looking for tiles.
She's buying secondhand tiles. My mother is beautiful. She gets everything so affordable. Okay, so I didn't really do a very good job of reading comments. Someone basically, it's most of my comments are just Dwayne commenting on my music videos and that I'm really attractive. So, and everyone else calling me bonkers.
Dwayne, it's just all makeup. It's all smoke and mirrors, mate. Look at the big poppers
Lighting.
on the forehead.
Lighting. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and wow, that's funny. So I said, even gang stalking even your own family. Someone said they're gang stalking because they think you're crazy. It's like, doesn't make sense. Okay. Have you got anything else?
Well, they're trying to help you, aren't they? I guess.
Well, your family thinks they're helping you, but maybe sometimes it's not like malicious. I'm sure there's people in my life that act in a way that I think is very gang stalky. But it's not their fault. Like, I have a friend who's 33 years old. Not his fault, but he is. He lives at 33, such and such a street. And his last house was 42, and the house before that was 13. I'm like, okay, mate. Not your fault. Not your fault. Maybe it is.
Maybe he's just a really good crisis actor. Yeah. You don't know anything.
No. Yeah, I'm like, me and Mum were just looking at each other going,
yep.
Imagine that.
Imagine fancy saying you.
Small world.
Oh my goodness. So any messages, what's going on today?
Just be happy with your life because, like, we live in a tent. A very, very fancy tent. It's worth like $3,000. It's a nice tent. It's a very nice tent. But we live in a tent and we don't have water and we have a generator.
Got no shitter.
We got no shitter.
Got no shower.
Got no shower.
Got no hot water.
Got no hot water. Got no electricity. Got no bloody water. Got no telly. I just had to say telly because it's so funny when you hear a pom say telly. We got none of that shit, but we're still bloody happy. And
Our neighbour, one neighbour, came straight out the first day and said, "Shut the fuck up," because we were laughing all night. And because we're in a tent, the sound travels, right?
Yeah.
And we hadn't
But
even
she's
met
in
her.
a house.
Yeah, she's got a house. Yeah, she could just, like close the window or something. And so she just screamed at us like, "You guys are up all night." First night we'd ever been here. And then the other neighbour came across and said, "You girls are so cool." Like, I just hear you laughing and cracking up all night.
Yeah. He said 4 o'clock in the morning, I hear the girls giggling, and I'm like, better start getting ready for work. He says because we wake up at the time he needs to wake up. He's like, as soon as I hear you girls giggling, I'm like, oh shit, must be 4 o'clock. I better
And
start
we've been
getting ready
through floods, famine, fires,
yeah.
fucktards, everything.
Not famine yet. We've been through
That's right.
We've endured many a fucktard.
We've been through everything, and yet we're still just laughing and happy. You see someone else, they break a nail, and they're like just about to go and get the rope out and start swinging.
But we have a shed on this place, and it got infested with rats. So
while the floods were on,
and it destroyed our last tent. So that's why we moved into this tent.
Yeah.
Which has you can't really see it. Has
got mold.
It's got mold stains, a lot of mold. And so I had to empty out all of my preps. There is a lot of preps there, and it's heavy. There's tin, a lot of tin shit there. Anyway, I had to get a friend around to help me, and he's like trying to open the lid. It's like, what's in here? I'm like, don't you open the lid. If you do, I will kill you. Don't open lid. You just move shit. That's your job. Stop laughing. So, yeah.
Yes.
And then we're going to have to scrub it and line it so the rats can't get back in there. But, of course, it was only dry place while all the floods were on. The rats are like, Haven!
And there's food in here as well.
Man. Anyways, so, I don't know if I've talked to you guys about the really, really horrible gang stalking that happened with our property, and our friend cleaned out our property. I've probably mentioned it heaps of times. We sold our land in Tassie, moved up to New South, and someone that my mum has known since before I was born, best part of 20 years, and she paid him a lot of money to empty out our property, and
he's got storage containers.
He has mini storage units.
Sea containers.
Yeah, he has short sea containers, 20-footers.
So he's used to dealing with other people's stuff.
He's basically a removalist. So we I'm sorry, you're better at telling the stories than me.
Huh?
So
he went and got all that stuff.
He went and got all our stuff. That was 6 months ago. Then we're like, cool, Covo's over. We can get down to Tassie. We drove all the way down. It is I don't know, 1,000 miles to drive down there. It's ridiculous. Plus the boat, which cost us $1,000 Australian each way. Because we had to bring a trailer. And he said to us, "You have 4 20-foot sea containers full of your shit." And we're like, amazing, because Mum is a builder. She has probably because we already had a sea container on our property, and it was full of tools, and it was a 20-footer. So there's one sea container, and then all of our beautiful furniture, all of our personal belongings, and then
another little humpy shed thing.
Oh, they've seen the humpy.
Yeah. And then the bus was full of our personal
You guys have
things.
seen inside the humpy, right? It's full of shit. There is a lot of stuff in there.
And then the bus was full.
The bus was full.
And then the donga down the bottom, which is another transportable house, that was full.
Yeah.
So when he said 4 sea containers, we're like 1, 2, 3, 4 structures, 1, 2, 3, 4 sea containers. That's about right. Mm-hmm. And all we walked away with was a ute load and a small 6x4 trailer.
Yeah.
Ute and trailer, and that's all we walked away with, and we were just
and you know what? We thought when we went down there, everything Mum owns is beautiful. All of her furniture is expensive mahogany furniture. You could sell it for $200 a piece. And we went
all
down.
My tools,
all
Mum's
tools, air compressors, nail guns, all of our preps that we didn't bring with us,
flashlights,
just copious amounts of lighters, 500 lighters, you know what I mean?
Knives, beautiful
my nice knives, my bows, my arrows. I had 2 bows. I had a heap of arrows.
Beautiful compound.
We had Hard and Carmen speakers. We really love those speakers. So we had the home base and 2 little portable ones. Yeah, there was only one and it was broken. And basically anything of value, we thought we'd go down there and sell everything and be like millionaires. Because of course we couldn't transport it all up here. We couldn't even scratch together $100.
They'd taken anything of value, like
And
anything.
everything was fucking broken. And there was just boxes just with their lids off. And there was like
rain.
out in the rain, and there was just like one or two. There's like a broken flashlight in the bottom. We're like, that was full of stuff.
Yeah.
And they'd taken like, he has lots, like 3 daughters or something. They're all like really fat, so they're bigger than me. But our shoe sizes are apparently the same. So all of my really nice heels are all gone.
All your makeup, all
my
your
makeup,
jewelry.
all my jewelry, my Pandoras, my charms,
Absolutely.
just everything. All my clothes are there because apparently we don't fit the same clothes. Because I know his daughters. I know I grew up with them, and so yeah, I'm really upset about that. All my modeling shoes, like they're really expensive, and a lot of them, you know, were like birthday presents, or like a photographer said, oh, you know, I bought you a pair of shoes because you're a model who does, you know, all my gigs for like really good price. Anyway, so
So we basically,
yeah,
not one tool.
not a single
even
tool.
a nail, not even a screw.
We had 5 nail guns.
Yeah.
2 heap like really long extension cords so you can get onto roofs and stuff, and then a really good air compressor.
Oh yeah, and all my ladders, like beautiful 6.
And we went through his
aluminum.
room, and there is all my art and my photography equipment, like the really big expensive Nikon camera. I'm like, it's a $2,000 camera. That's mine. I know it's mine. And
Go
he's
in the
like,
kitchen. There's our
he's like,
microwave
oh,
oven.
that's not yours. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
it is.
yeah,
So
it
I
is.
just didn't say anything and put it in my bag because, like, obviously it's mine. It's got my photos on it.
Yeah.
That I took. And you know what? We went in there, all of our cutlery, like beautiful stuff that we have saved for when we get a house, like Mum's beautiful pots that have like the brass on the bottom. And we're like, you know, it's all matching, and we're like, oh my god, there's your pots. You know, you got given them as a wedding present.
Yeah, like
20 years ago.
Yeah, 10, 20 years ago.
And and all of
Yeah.
our microwave oven, toasting machines, all that stuff, we're just like, oh my god, this is like,
It's like
looks
walking into our house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All that stuff. And he's going, that's not yours, that's not yours.
And we just found like lighters, big lighters everywhere. We're like, yeah, that's ours. So anyway, I'm gathering now. So
It's really upsetting, like how many times have we lost shit, been ripped
the
off.
ultimate gang stalk.
Yeah, so that's gang stalking, is it losing your shit?
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, don't let them take your energy, don't live in fear.
Don't focus on it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
And then the thing is, when you don't focus on it, then we come up here and someone was selling a house load of vintage Mexican furniture.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
beautiful.
because they're moving.
They were moving
So
out.
we've got 3 ute loads of Mexican furniture for like $1,000 for 3 ute loads.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And it's probably more beautiful than the stuff we had. And we
Yeah,
had it for
yeah.
20 years and probably were ready for new
Like that
stuff.
was all
You know, so
mahogany. All the stuff we lost was mahogany, and all the stuff we've got now is like vintage Mexican with beautiful Aztec tiles and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
yeah, so just let it go.
You know, let it go, and then something. So the point of this, there is a point. You let something gets taken. If you hold on to it, you're holding on to that. But you let it go, and then you have your mind is open, and then you look over this way and like, oh, there's something better over there. Like Job. You think of the story of Job. He lost everything. He didn't let it get to him, and then everything came back, but it was better, right?
But at that point where you're letting it go, that's really hard because you just want to get upset. You want to kill someone.
Exactly.
You know, you just want to get really aggressive and
But
angry.
you have to remember, it's not everything is stuff, you know, and it does sound really hard. Like, doesn't mean that you're not attached to things. Doesn't mean you shouldn't hold on to things. I'm not saying you should leave the keys in your car out on the street with the door open. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, no, because then you can't get to work and you can't go and pay your mortgage, and then your kids are going to be living on the street and hungry. I'm not saying to do that. So lock your car. But my point is, you have to let things go, and at that point it's really hard, but just remember that it's going to come back to you because God takes care of us always. I think that's it for tonight. I didn't end up doing much reading, did we? We just ended up doing some talking. I haven't done a video in a while. I have another channel, so you want to watch that. This is kind of just more my personal channel. The other one's more sophisticated and edited and thought about. When I go to make a video, I'm like, I have a topic. With this, I'm like, I feel like making a video, turn the camera on, and just words come out. Okay, anyways. Love you.